Hey everyone, it's Jackie in Dunnock Studio. Guess what? It's December, Christmas is coming. So it's gift time and you're wondering what you could buy the artist in your life, or you are the artist and you'd like to give yourself a little treat. Well, here are 10 ideas for you to look for a Christmas present. So to start off, think about canvases, paper, whatever you use, and treating yourself to something that you wouldn't normally use. You can buy very small packs of things, like this is Cardi paper, which is a really sweet little pack of textured cotton paper for watercolourists. You've got Osh, which is a beautiful paper, and if you have never used it before, it's something you could treat yourself to, or the person that you're buying for. And then there's things like this. This is Bromley's. It's a nice selection of watercolour papers. So if you're just getting into watercolour and you're not really sure what paper does what, then a little set like this, it's got different weights, different textures. That's a fabulous set for you to explore watercolour. And they also do a large set as well, as in the bigger sheets. So there's plenty of papers, but if you're not a watercolourist, then have a look at surfaces, canvases, and treat yourself to something that's a little bit more luxurious than perhaps you would usually have. Artists may be used to painting with something pretty basic, whether watercolour, acrylics, oils, etc. They may have bought a couple of slightly different versions that they enjoy, but they've never tried something a little bit more luxurious. And one thing artists do love is their brushes. So whether it's for yourself or for an artist in your life, then do look out for something a little bit nicer than perhaps the standard would be. Now, you don't have to spend a lot of money. This one here is from Rosemary & Co, and you can order one of their catalogues worldwide, so you can choose from any of the brushes that are in here to suit the artist and whichever medium they're using. And all these brushes in this catalogue are life size. So rosemaryandco.com. That's a really good way to choose a brush for somebody or for yourself. So apologies, these are all used, but you may want to try some different colours. So these are Viviva colour sheets. These are found on Amazon, or go directly to Viviva's colour sheets. Just put them into Google and they will pop up. And these are absolutely stunning little travel palettes. They also do slightly bigger palettes, but this one is designed for travel. You use a little brush or a water pen, and that's your little mixing area. Viviva colour sheets. Then also, why not buy yourself some dot cards? So Daniel Smith, if you're a watercolourist, you will have heard of Daniel Smith. We can actually buy little dots of each colour and try them out. You can see I've been delving into all of these. I wouldn't go and buy any of these tubes necessarily, but when I've gone through a dot card like this, then I can decide if there's any colours in there that I really, really love, in which case I possibly could go and buy that colour or a set that includes that colour. And Daniel Smith have fabulous sets if you're into beautiful granulating watercolours. And that's a really nice idea as a present, because they don't cost a huge amount of money. They're easy to post as well. So if you're sending somebody a present, watercolour dot cards are fabulous. Also, if it's a watercolourist that you are buying for, and this particular one is just white, and Winsor & Newton make this one. But if you buy that, you can mix it with any watercolours at all and make an opaque colour. So for those of you who are exploring adding colours on top of translucent watercolours, that could work. And rather than buy a whole set of gouache as a separate item in your hobby corner, you can just add this to any of your watercolours. Just make sure you wash the brushes out well It is opaque and it dries quite a lot harder than the normal watercolour, so just be a little bit aware of keeping your brushes clean. But white gouache is very, very good for adding opaque colour, especially if your painting has lost its light and you want to put a dot of light in. That's a really good way of doing it. We all have our favourite palettes. This one I have is designed for travelling, so if I go to my art group I take this one with me. This one also has a handy little insert that is completely see-through, so if you're a colour match artist you can mix your colours on this and maybe lay them over a photograph that you're referring to try and match the colours into it. Or if not, you can even get your colour on here and hold it up to what you're looking at. I just use it as an extra mixing area, which is quite handy because it's doubling the space. So this particular palette, it's got more than enough space for colours. I never would use all those colours. And if I want some extra ones, I just pop them in one of these little pans inside to take with me on the day. There are lots of other palettes around. For watercolourists, a porcelain palette is a really nice purchase for people who work in studio or in their hobby corner, as they are quite heavy, not very good for travelling, but they mix and clean beautifully, quite a lot nicer than generally a cheap plastic palette. So a nice palette is a nice treat for yourself or someone you know. Doesn't like a lovely sketchbook? Well, these could be for anybody. You could use these if you're a pencil artist, charcoal, if you're going to plan for a bigger painting. If you're a watercolourist, you can get specialist watercolour sketchbooks. This one has got a really soft, almost feathery cover to it. I've just not done too much in this one, but I've done some pencil planning for a painting there and a little sketch there of a teapot. Another idea that goes really well with these is postcards, watercolour postcards, and the way I use them is to swatch colours out, which I thoroughly enjoy, and it's just a way of getting your colours so you can refer back to them later and see what they do and just have a little bit of fun. But should you wish to, you can also take these out and pop a stamp on them and post them. They are postcard size, so that's quite a nice gift to use for somebody who just wants to swatch their colours and have a little bit of fun. But it's not something you necessarily buy yourself routinely, so treat yourself. Sketchbooks are fab. Although these seem like a basic gift, if you haven't got one of these, they're really, really useful. So this one, you pop your brush on top. Because of the little rills, it doesn't roll off, which is really quite handy. And these two are made by the same maker, Faber-Castell. And interestingly, when I bought these, this one came under the art section and this one came under the child's craft section. This one was half the price of this. The best thing about them, and they're both the same, is that they fold flat for transport, so they go very nicely small. So yes, have a little look. Amazon definitely have them. If you're just using a plastic pot or a jar, then these could be a game changer and a nice inexpensive present as well. However, if you want something a bit different and you fancy just pushing your creative skills a little more, then if you were to go on a pottery course or somebody bought you a pottery course, you could make your own brush pot. And this is such a simple thing to build. I built this in 2 hours at a pottery course. I am not a potter, but I had lots of fun with this. I popped in these little dents so my brush can sit on the top. I can fit at least 2 or 3 on there. And that is now my own personal water pot. Nobody else has got one anything like it. So if you want to really give an artist something different to do, buy them a pottery course and then they may well be able to make themselves something like this. Watercolour pencils. And again, you'd have different versions depending on your medium. So you could have oil pastels, you could have all sorts of coloured crayons. These particular ones are by Derwent and they're made in the UK. And you can tell if it's the Derwent pencil because it has the slanted colour on the end, and the colour on the end is the same pigment that's gone into the actual pencil itself. And you can do all sorts of things with watercolour pencils, including outlining, shading, using them as travel watercolours. You literally take that with you, have a damp brush and lift the pigment off to paint. You can draw into wet paintings with them. There's an awful lot of things you can do with watercolour pencils. These ones also came with something called Intense blocks, which again are a little bit bigger. You can also shave the colour off of them with a craft knife into a wet wash and create speckles, the lovely specks of colour. So that's a nice present if it's something that you think you might experiment with, or somebody you know likes watercolours and they haven't got good quality watercolour pencils. Going along the same theme, these are fine liner pens for artists, and this one's Derwent, but there are Micron, Pigma Microns, Unipins, all sorts of different ones. The most important thing to look for an artist is they're water and fade proof, so that if somebody wants to draw first and then paint over the top, they're not going to move. I tend to work 0.3, but it depends on the size of work and the type of materials people are using. But fine liner pens are a fabulous addition to any artist's toolbox. Show you these lovely pots of goodness. This is aqua bronze. Now, even though it's called aqua bronze, you can clearly see that we have a gold, a copper and a silver. The reason I'm showing these is when my learners try these, they absolutely love them, and it doesn't matter which colour it is. And when you buy one, it is literally filled to the brim with this beautiful dust of beautiful colour, and you mix that into water and paint with it, or you splatter with it, or you sprinkle it onto a damp wash, and it's absolutely beautiful. Mostly used to embellish watercolours, but you could use it in any way you like, especially in mixed media. These are made by Schminky, and they as a present would be very nice for somebody who hasn't tried them before. And if you have tried them, you'll know that once you bought one, they last forever. You're never really going to use those up. So many ideas, but you really don't know what the person you're buying for would actually like. Well, don't forget gift vouchers. Art shops generally sell gift vouchers, and so do the online retailers. And if you're buying for yourself or you're suggesting to someone else, then why not ask for a gift voucher so you can buy the materials that you actually need and want, rather than a random present that may not suit your needs. Yes, I know it's a mug, but let's face it, how many artists go and create without having a drink of some sort? So do consider a nice artist mug. This one is my cup of creativity. It's nice, it makes me laugh, I enjoy it. There are lots of things similar to this on the market, and all you have to do is do a quick Google search and you can have one on the way in minutes. That's a nice present because somebody may well not think to buy it for themselves, but if you start looking for yourself, you may be very surprised. And of course, as with all these things, eventually mugs get broken, but guess what? In the studio they become really useful. And my final idea for you is to get a piece of your artwork printed onto a mug so you have it forevermore as a reminder of what you did. It can be used in your studio for storage, and you can gaze at it lovingly even if you've lost the handle through overuse. Have your own printed mug made. It's fabulous. So everybody, I hope that helped you and there's given you a few ideas for Christmas gifts for artists, whether that's for yourself or for someone you know. Pop in the comments whether you found something unique that I haven't listed and that you think other people should see. There are so many things online for artists and some of them are better than others. If you're in doubt, do ask the person you're buying for what they may like, what sort of thing do they paint, and if you can't find out, then don't forget the good old gift voucher. Believe me, if someone gives you an artist gift voucher, it makes you very happy indeed. So have some fun shopping and enjoy. Looking forward to Christmas. Take care, see you on the next video. Happy painting. Bye for now.